we were discussing about able metric. We had started with the discussion that it involves around the three dimensions, that is customer group, customer needs, and technology. So we had started with that. Prior to that, we had discussed the meaning of two important concepts, vision and mission. In detail, we had discussed about that also. So today we will be starting with the able matrix, and then we will move on to the next topic. We had also started with a discussion that how one of the top company of the world, that is Apple, is working on the basis of this able matrix. So in detail, we will be discussing in today's session. So this able matrix, as the name itself suggests, it was introduced by a Harvard professor in 1984. His name was Derek Abel. He came up with this particular concept that if a organization has to prepare strategic plan, the basis of that plan should be on the basis of three dimensions. And the three dimensions which he had given is customer groups, customer needs, and technology. So he was of the opinion that first the organization has to do a thorough research on these three dimensions, and then they should come up with a strategy, and that strategy should be implemented. He was of the opinion that if this matrix is followed, there are more chances that the organization will be profitable, and whatever planning the organization has made, that planning will result in good results. That was the opinion of the Harvard professor Derek Abel, who has introduced this particular concept. Now, how this concept is to be actually implemented or actually used in preparation of strategic planning, that we need to discuss. So, three dimensions. First one is customer group, then the customer needs or customer functions, and the technology. So, he said that three quadrants are to be first drawn, and on first quadrant, the customer group is to be written. Second quadrant should focus on customer needs, and the third quadrant on the technology. In these three quadrants, the organization should answer certain questions. So, first quadrant, customer group, there the organization should write a answer to the question, who are the customers of the organization? The main goal of the organization here is the customer segmentation and clustering. Marketing students, they would be understanding it more because it is related to more marketing. The other students also have discussed this in marketing management as well as in basics of marketing. So the first quadrant should answer the question that who are the customers of the organization and what is the main goal for customer segmentation and customer clustering. That answer should be written in the first quadrant of customer group. Then in the second quadrant, which talks about customer needs, the answer to the question, what are the customers' needs? The main goal of the organization here should be to deeply know the customer base until the organization gets the buyer's profile. So here in the second quadrant, the answer shall be of what are the customers needs. So first quadrant, who are the customers? Second quadrant, what are the customers needs? In the third quadrant, where technology is written, the organization shall write the answer to the question, how can organization meet these needs with the help of existing or future technology? Here, the goal or the objective should be that they should establish a valuable and long lasting relationship with the customer. So these three quadrants, the answers written in these three quadrants, they will help the organization to come up with a new strategic plan which the organization, if implemented, will be profitable to the organization. That is what uh, Professor Derek Abel was of the opinion. So analysis of these three quadrants is to be done. Thorough analysis, that what are, who are the customers, what are the needs of the customers, and whether the existing technologies will be able to retain or make the relationship between the company and the customers more valuable. That will result in retaining the customers as well as attracting the new customers. So that is how the analysis under able metric is to be done. Now further he says that on the basis of these analysis, the organization can be divided into four strategic business units, which he called SBU, strategic business unit. First one is yellow SBU, second is red SBU, third is orange SBU, and the fourth one is the blue SBU. So here we are going to be more focused on the blue SBU because blue SBU talks about vast potential. So every organization wants to get engaged in such business activities where the potential or possibilities are vast. So we will first discuss what are these four different SBUs which can be categorized on the basis of the analysis, able analysis or able metric. And then we will discuss in detail about the blue strategic business unit. So first unit is the yellow SBU. Now this particular type of strategic business unit in simple words, for example, we will be discussing here SBU as an company, as a company or as an organization. So yellow SBUs or yellow organizations, they specializes in satisfying a user function and leveraging the existing technologies to serve their customers. So what they do is that they try to satisfy the needs of the customers with the existing technologies so that they can, and they try to serve their customers in a better manner. So these type of companies are categorized under yellow SBU. One of the example can be Toyota, which believes that why Toyota cars are so famous. The most primary reason behind the success of Toyota car is their technology, the quality. The person who is purchasing a Toyota car is rest assured, is aware that when he is purchasing a car which is manufactured by Toyota company, that car will give him or her the best quality available in the market. So any company which is trying to satisfy the needs of the employees, customers with the existing technology, focusing on the existing technology is called is covered under the yellow strategic business unit. Red strategic business unit, second one is it focuses on specific customer, function of use, technology, and combination. So the red strategic business unit, they focuses on specific customer, particular customer. Their customer base is fixed and they focuses on combination of technology. In the first one, we have said that existing technology. One technology is there, and that technology has to be the best technology. Here in the red SBU, what happens is it focuses on specific customer, only one type of customer, and the technology can be combination of technology, the present technology, as well as they can uh, start thinking of if we can make changes in the technology by making it more beneficial for their existing customers. Next one is the orange strategic business unit. Now, this strategic business unit concentrates its skills and specializes in using particular technology to satisfy the one or more group of customers. That is orange strategic business unit. So these type of companies, they try to concentrate on satisfying needs of customers who are in different groups. So we can say that younger people are also their customers, mid-level people are also their customers, and aged people are also their customers. So it is not that only a particular age group people are their customers. People of varied or various age groups are their customers. So company which is categorized under the orange strategic business unit, they try to concentrate their skills, they try to fulfill the needs of their customers who are in the various needs. And the blue strategic business unit we will be discussing, it is related to the blue SBU. We had discussed that we will be discussing about the blue SBU. Now, blue SBU is a field where the opportunities are more. Now, this particular organization, it concentrates on specific buyer buyers, and it covers several user functions with existing technology. So here the group, what we were talking about, the third time or the second dimension, which talks about customer group. Here the company is focusing on a particular customer group. Now this particular customer group belongs to a particular age and belongs to a particular earning capacity people. Now here the company has not divided its concentration, that we will be taking care of the needs of people or customers who are of different groups. For example, they are from different age group, one category, and they are having different purchasing power, second category. So they have concentrated themselves, this blue SBU type of company, blue company, they concentrate themselves, they narrow their focus so that they can concentrate better on their customers, a particular customer. They have categorized very, say, narrowly their customer. And one of the best examples is Apple. Now, Apple, the majority of the customers of Apple are youngsters. So they have categorized their customer group is what, whenever they are coming up with a new product or new innovation or a new feature, they keep in mind that their existing customer base is youngsters. What are the needs of youngsters? The second dimension they always keep in mind. And depending upon that, they see to it that the third dimension also meets the first two. Whatever changes in the technology they are making with every new version of their phone, they keep in mind first their users. Who are their users? So if you analyze the data of Apple users, if you take up that data, majority of the users, they fall under the bracket of young people, youngsters who are in their youth, the people who are in their 20s or maybe 18, 19-year old, 20-year old. So these young people, they have found that they are our customers. Once they have highlighted that these are our customers, this age group is our customers, the second thing they concentrated is that we should be focusing on a particular type of customer. First one, on the basis of age, they have seen that younger people who are in their uh, adolescence or younger people in the 20s, we will say, they are their major customers. It is not that older people are not using, but if we analyze the data shows that majority of the users are young people. So first they have categorized that young people on the basis of age. The second thing what they have categorized is that the purchasing power of the young people. So Apple cannot be purchased by a person who is young but who doesn't have purchasing power. Purchasing power means because Apple phone, it costs more. A new version of Apple costs more than lakh rupees. So only young people is not sufficient. That young person should have that purchasing power also, should have that money also to purchase that. So they are concentrating constantly on what? Two parameters of, first, that their customers are young and their customers are having good purchasing power. Keeping in that mind, then they analyze what are the needs of these two types of their customers, what they are, what are their needs, and depending upon their needs, they keep changing their existing technology. That's the reason why Apple is so successful. We have seen that Apple 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 16 is going on, or maybe more than that. I know up to 16 only. So all these things only, the example last time also we had discussed that we can see only one company which is coming up with this type of product line. The other companies, what they are doing is they are coming up with new new models, new the name of their model. We do not see that Samsung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is coming up. You cannot find Vivo or Xiaomi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming up. So these only we see these things coming up with Apple. Why? Because they are able to analyze these three different dimensions in the most advanced manner, most better manner, or most best manner we can. So that is what Able Metrics say, that if an organization wants to be successful, this type of analysis can be done. And if strategic planning is done by the organization, is made by the organization after the thorough analysis of able metrics on these three dimensions, the results can be better for the organization. If you have not understood anything, please go ahead, or we will move on to the next topic. I hope my voice is clear to all. Am I
Yes,
audible?
yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, the next one we are going to discuss is the critical success factors. What are the critical success factors? That these factors have to be there. If these factors are there, then the organization will be growing, then the organization will be profitable. Now, what are these critical factors that we are going to discuss? So, we will start with the critical success factors, or CSF, are elements that must be met for an organization to achieve its goal. The critical success factors analysis might help the business identify the opportunities based on the goal and mission of the business, both short and long term. So, those are known as the critical success factors. How the organization can use critical success factors for its growth. The steps are given. So, first, assemble a team from the top level of the organization. Whenever a strategic planning is to be done, it is said that it is done at the top level of the organization. Why at the top level? Always it is said that strategic planning is to be done, or it is done at the top level of the organization. The reason is very simple. The logic is very simple. Because top level, the people who are occupying that top level positions in the organization, they are having they have reached there because of their talent, because they have shown results, and because of their experience in that particular sector, their vast experience. People are having, say, 20 years or more than that experience, and then they have reached that higher level positions in the organization. That is why it is said that higher level people are always involved in strategic planning. So, first, under the critical success factors, that if the organization wants to be successful with the strategic planning and strategic implementation procedure, first thing they have to do is assemble a team from the top of the organization. So first they have to shortlist who are the top level managers of the organization, and then form a group, form a team of these people. Then the second stage should be incorporate employee feedback to create a list of around 10 or to 15 success factors, critical success factors. Then the second important thing is incorporate employee feedback. Very important. During our previous sessions also we had discussed that employee feedback is very important. Not only feedback, but evaluation of that feedback is also important. So the second critical success factor talks about that take employee feedback to create a list of around 10 to 15 critical success factors. That these are the factors which can, 10 to 15 critical success factors, they have to note it down, who the team which has been assembled by the organization. Now that team has to jot down 10 to 15 critical success factors, that if we concentrate on these factors, definitely it is going to be good for the organization. That is the second stage. The third one is use multiple framework to understand the key element of each goal. Multiple framework means research or analysis is to done from multiple angles. That if we implement this particular decision, what will be the advantage, what will be the disadvantage? All these analysis is to be done under point number 3 or step number 3. Fourth one is determine which factors are key to achieving long term plan. So earlier we had said the 10 to 15 critical factors. The next stage is do detailed analysis, detailed evaluation of these 10, 15 critical factors. Write down the advantages and disadvantages. What are the plus, what are the minuses of these 10, 15 critical factors? And on the basis of that analysis, then shortlist that determine which factors are the key in achieving long term goals. Then shortlist those critical factors to say maybe two, maybe three, maybe four out of those 10, 15. That these are the now refined critical success factor, which if implemented in the organization, it is going to be going to make the organization profitable. So that is the stage number 4. And the final stage is strategic plan implementation. Once you have shortlisted the critical success factors, depending upon a thorough analysis done by the team which is selected for identifying the critical success factors, prepare a plan that is called as strategic plan. And next stage will be implement that plan. And only implementation doesn't end this process, but continuous monitoring on the implementation is also important. And the implementation shall also be followed by evaluation of strategic plan implementation. Whatever we had thought under step number 3, use multiple framework to understand the key elements of each goal. And step number 4, there the organization has done the research that if we implement this plan, the results will be this. They have written down the result. During evaluation, we can match that the results are exactly same or close to the same which were written during the research or not. If yes, planning result is good. If no, correction in that plans are needed. So that is related to the critical success factors. Now the next one we will be discussing is KRA and KPI. What is KRA and what is KPI? Now KRA are the key result areas, and KPI are key performance indicator. KRA, key result area. They are also called as key responsibility area. KPI is key performance indicator. So first we will discuss the definition, then we will go further. So KPI, a key performance indicator, is a metric to determine the effectiveness of a certain area, whereas KRA, key result area, or it is also called as key responsibility area, outlines the outcome within the position for which the employee is responsible. So in the second, we will be discussing what exactly it is. So KPI is a metric to determine the progress within KRA, whereas KRA is strategic result that you should aim to achieve. How it is used? KPI evaluates the productivity or success towards specific goals. KRA describes the scope of job role. The process of KPI are created based on the KRAs, and KRAs come before the KPI. Measurability of KPI and KRA. KPI are considered as quantitative metrics, whereas KRAs or key result areas, they are considered as qualitative in nature. Timeline for KPI are benchmarks that can be changed from month to month, whereas KRA's focuses on long-term goals. So that is the difference between the two points or two. Uh, One is the KPI and KRA. So what happens in the key result area that now we are going to discuss? The first one is the KPI and KRA. Apart from measurability and timeline, we have seen that the KPI is key performance indicators. Key performance indicators, in simple words, we can say that it focuses from month to month. So a specific timeline is given related to the key performance indicator, whereas the KRAs, they focus on long-term goals. So short-term goals are KPI, and key result areas or key responsibility areas are long-term. Their timeline is long. So key result area is a broad responsibility or area of focus, like ensuring customer satisfaction. While key performance indicator is specific measurable target that shows how well KRA is being achieved. So for example, achieve 90% customer satisfaction score. So KRA of increasing market share could have been KPIs like achieve 25% increase in market share. So KRA talks about increasing market share, whereas KPI talks about achieve 25% increase in market share within 1 year. So that is the basic difference. So key result area shows that our market research has to be increased or is increasing. Whereas key performance indicator talks about that we need to achieve 25% increase in the market share within 1 year. So that is the basic difference between the two, KRA and KPI. So KRA is broad responsibility area or key result area, which talks about ensuring customer satisfaction. So it focuses, for example, it focuses on that customer should be satisfied. While key performance indicator, it talks about measurable target. Okay, KRA talks about that customer should be made happy. KPI talks about measuring satisfaction of the customer. 90% are satisfied, 80% satisfied, 70% satisfied. So this is to be checked under the key performance indicator. Another example in marketing could be for key result area in marketing could be developing market strategy. So another example of KRA, if the marketing department of a particular company is implementing KRA, key result area or key responsibility area, they will come up with a statement related to or ideas related to developing market strategy, how they will be able to develop marketing strategy. And in KPI, they need to talk about that how they will be able to increase their sales revenue by 20% with the help of the KRA. So KRA is broader. KPI talks about measurable things. So in marketing, a KPI could be increasing sales revenue by say 20%, maybe 25%, maybe 30%. That will be covered under key performance indicator. It is showing that organization is moving up, up by what? By 10%, by 20%, by 30%. So that measurable thing is to be included in KPI. So that is related to the concept called key performance indicator and key result area or key performance area. KPI are the benchmarks we have seen, which talks about month to month, whereas KRAs they focus on long term goals. Now the next one is components of a strategic plan. What are the different components of a strategic plan? What is strategy? What is planning? We have already discussed. What is strategic management? That also we had discussed. What is a strategic plan? That also we had discussed. Plan which is based on the strategy which is prepared by the organization is called as strategic plan. Very simple. That is the exact meaning of strategic plan. When an organization is making plan, strategic plan, what are the components involved in that strategic plan making? That we are going to discuss in this particular slide. So here we will be discussing about vision, mission, values, goals, strategies, initiatives, and projects. All the components are interrelated. All influence each other. They concentrate or efforts rather than random attempts and the change. Random attempts at change and concentrated effort. So two different terms are being used here. One is concentrated effort. The other one is random effort. Concentrated efforts, the effort taken by the company after conducting a thorough research, after carrying out a thorough analysis, is called as concentrated effort. Random effort is manager thought that I should implement this. He or she has not done a research. No analysis has been carried out. Only manager feels, general manager feels, CEO feels, other higher authority feels that I feel that this particular decision is to be taken and I feel that it will be good for the organization without any calculation, without any research, without any analysis. That will be called as random attempt or random effort. When we are talking about strategic plan, it has to be based on concentrated effort. It has to be based on research, analysis. If it is based on concentrated effort, research, and analysis, chances are more that it will be good for the growth of the organization, for the profitability of the organization. And if we are taking it, taking the decision, making the planning randomly, only on the basis that manager feels, manager thinks, no research, no study, no analysis, nothing, chances are more that that plan may not give desired result in terms of growth, in terms of profitability to the organization. So whenever the organization is trying to come up with a strategic plan, these components have to be kept in mind. On the basis of these components, if a strategic plan is created, chances are more that it will be good for the organization. So first one, it shall include vision of the organization. Vision and mission we have already discussed. So in detail, we are not going to discuss here. So here, in short, we will be talking what is written over the slide. So future state of the organization, what we choose to be in future, that should be the first component to be taken into consideration while coming up with a strategic plan. Then mission of the organization again shall be included while coming up with a strategic plan, which should answer the question why the organization exists, what is the core purpose of the organization. So first, on a piece of paper, the answer to the vision is to be written. Second, the answer to the question related to mission, why the organization exists, what are the core purpose or what is the core purpose of the organization. These answers are to be written. Once the answers related to questions related to vision and mission are written, then they are to be analyzed properly. Then the third one is values. What are the values? What is the culture of the organization? What are the beliefs of the organization? Again, answer is to be written to these questions also. Because every organization, they have certain values. Every organization. Now, Tata Group of companies, they are having values. We all are aware that their values are very high and they follow their values in total. If you go through the case study related to Tata Docomo, you will understand how focused the company is related to its value. I'll give you a brief idea what that particular case was. Late 90s, when telecommunication sector was booming in the country, Tata Telecommunication made a joint venture with a Japanese major telecom player, Docomo. So a joint venture, Tata Docomo, started functioning in the country. Initially, when the agreement between the two companies was signed, a clause was added, and that clause says that in case in future, if the deal doesn't go well, and if Docomo is not earning profit in future, Tata group of companies will give them a particular amount as compensation to Docomo. Now, this particular clause was written in the agreement. Later on, when the company started functioning in India, later on, the rule was changed that anything which is included in the agreement before the company actually start doing business in India, all the things, all the clauses related to future compensation were declared null and void. That this particular rule, which came up in India after Tata Docomo started its business, that any clause related to that future uh, payment or future compensation is not valid in India now. So when Docomo suffered loss because of the deal, both the companies tried, but things didn't move well, and both the companies, Tata Telecommunication and Docomo, they suffered losses. So Docomo wanted to come out of that joint venture. They wrote to Tata Group of company that whatever was promised in the agreement, please give us that compensation, and we want to move out of this joint venture. So as per the existing rule, earlier it was written, existing rule says that it is not mandatory for the Tata Group of companies to give them compensation because the rules of the land, the rules uh, of the companies functioning in India have been changed by the government of India. But just see how they are focused related to their values. The existing chairman at that particular time, Mr. Mistry, he was of the opinion, he was the existing chairman at that particular moment. He was of the opinion that it is not compulsory for the Tata Group of companies to pay the compensation. So he decided that the company will not be paying the compensation, and instead they will take they will follow the rules which are there recently introduced by government of India. This was one of the major reasons which led to removal of Mr. Mistry from the position of chairman of Tata Group of Companies, because Mr. Ratan Tata was of the opinion that at earlier, when we had already committed that we will pay you compensation in case of loss, even if the rules have changed now, we are not going to take the benefit of those rules. We have to keep our word. We have to keep our values intact. Whatever we have committed, we will follow. And Tata Group of companies, after the ouster of Mistry as a chairman, when again the chairmanship was given to Mr. Ratan Tata, they paid that compensation. So that way, we can say that that is the importance of values companies give. It is not that each and every company are so focused on their values. But remember, the companies which are focused on their values, they are the companies which are going to be there in the business for a longer period of time. Tatas are in business for around or more than 150 years. They are there in the business. They are not a company which has been started 10 years back or 20 years back or 30 years back. They are there in the business for more than 150 years. And because of their values, because of their vision, mission, why they are so focused, we can be sure that in the longer period also they will be there, and they will be uh, profitable, and that will be a profitable company. So that is related to values and goals. So we are talking about strategic plan. So strategic plan should include value. Strategic plan should include goals. What are the strategic targets and measures of success? What are the goals of the organization? Again, that is to be written. Answer to that question is to also be to written. And once all these questions, answers to all these questions are written, the answers are to be analyzed. On the basis of that analysis, a plan is to be prepared, and that plan will be called as strategic plan. Next one is strategies. Strategies includes our plans to achieve our goals that we have already discussed. And last one is initiative or project, specific project to support our strategy. So these are the simple components which shall include a strategic plan. So whenever a company is coming up with a strategic plan, all these components are to be thought of, and how it is to be done. Question shall be asked on what is the vision of the company, what is the mission of the company, what are the core values of the company, what are the goals of the company. Uh, the four questions are to be answered. The questions, the answers are to be analyzed, and that analysis will help the organization to come up with strategy. And lastly, the project, a specific project, initiative or project or specific project to support the strategies of the company. So these are the components of strategic plan. So we will stop here. In tomorrow's session. We will discuss about the key another key components of strategic planning process. So right now we had discussed about components of strategic plan. Tomorrow we will be talking about the components of strategic planning. So it is a step further what are to be included that we will be discussing. Then we will also be talking in tomorrow's session the environmental threat and opportunity profile, that is ETOP, as well as we will talk about the ETOP analysis. So ETOP and the components of strategic planning process we will try to discuss in tomorrow's session. Thank you everyone for being present in today's session. Please inform your other students also who are not present for the session that they have to remain present.